Crunchies, how you doing? Welcome to day 29 of our Love Dare. In this video, we're going to talk about motivation to loving our spouses. Welcome to day 29 of the Love Dare. My name is Lauren, for those of you who are new. And here at the Crunchy Catholics, we like to cultivate the pure and the true. So if that's something you want to do, click subscribe and join our crew. All right, let's hop right to motivation. That is a topic that is so hot right now because a lot of us aren't feeling motivation to do things that we need to do. Am I right? Especially us millennials, right? Okay, so how do we feel motivated to love our spouses? Remember when you first met and it was just complete bliss and it was so easy to love each other? You remember that? As we were married a little longer, things changed a little bit. Maybe they started acting a little different, or so you thought. Maybe they acted the same. The things you once liked were starting to get a little... Let me know how many years you've been married in the comments below. So then you're just not sure how you're supposed to feel the motivation to do the loving acts, the sacrificial acts that we talked about yesterday. If we're just not really feeling like it, we barely feel like waking up and doing the things we gotta do, let alone make that extra sacrifice. Well, the answer. Although our moods and emotions can create all kinds of moving motivational targets, one is certain to stay in the same place all the time. When God is your reason for loving, your ability to love is guaranteed. When God is your reason for loving, your ability to love is guaranteed. If we can constantly go back to that as our motivation, there will always be a source of love because God is constant love. Ha! We're so lucky. Whew. The love that's demanded from you in marriage is not dependent on your mate's sweetness or suitability. The love between a husband and wife should have one chief objective: honoring the Lord with devotion and sincerity. The fact that it blesses our beloved in the process is simply a wonderful additional benefit. This is a little strange because we thought this was about us, right? We thought this was about our marriage and our husband, and actually, this is about loving God through our vocation. All right, story time. Story time. You guys like stories? This is kind of a hard story, and I might not have been able to share this story a few years back, but I'm in a place now that I feel I have overcome this, and so I'm able to share. When my husband and I were engaged, maybe one of you guys can beat this number. We knew each other for 6 weeks before we were engaged. 6 weeks, that's it. Not even dating for 6, knowing each other for 6 weeks. And we got engaged because we were crazy kids in love. When you do that, when you have a very quick engagement to marriage process, you skip a lot of the getting to know each other processes. So then when you get married, and I think every couple experiences this on some level, when you get married, you realize you don't really know your spouse. You don't really know who they are. You don't really know what they value. You don't know them. In my instance, I married my husband and realized he was a completely different person than I thought he was. He's a beautiful person, and it was all for the good, you know, it all worked out. But it was so frightening that first year because I thought, oh no, what did I do? I don't know this person, and we're Catholic, and there's no getting out of this one. So I talked to a priest because it was that serious, where I just felt like I have no idea who this person is. The priest told me something really crazy. Really crazy. At the time, it was the most radical idea that I had ever even heard. The priest told me, your marriage is similar to an arranged marriage in that you didn't know your partner before you got married. But that doesn't mean that it cannot be a fruitful marriage, and it doesn't mean that you cannot love your spouse, because marriage isn't about all those crazy feelings and the compatibility and all that good stuff. Marriage is about loving God through your vocation. When I heard that, because I was very new to learning about the faith, I just thought he was so radical. And that was the craziest thing I'd ever heard. But I took it on faith and I took his advice and I chose to love my husband. I chose to love my husband because that was our vocation to do so. And the more I got to know him, I actually fell in love with him in the way that you would expect from a secular standpoint. The first type of love that I did towards my husband was that love because that is my vocation, love. Why do I share this with you guys? I share this with you guys because I know now, looking back, that that is the best kind of love that could have began our marriage. That was the foundation that we needed. I needed that experience so that I could always remember what that felt like and go back to that place to get through the hard times together when the emotions didn't really feel like loving each other. When you really start falling in love and they're meeting your needs, you can fall into this pattern of letting your emotions dictate where your love goes. And that is very dangerous. When I start letting my emotions dictate my love, I can check myself and say, no. This isn't where love comes from. I'm not the source of love. God is. And remember to keep that channel open so that I can extend that out to my husband in sacrificial ways, like we talked about yesterday. Let me know of a time that you loved somebody in a sacrificial way and how that made you feel. Because I really, truly believe on the upfront, it feels a little uncomfortable, but once you get past that, it feels so good to love somebody that way. Let me know if you agree with that. Your love dare for the day. Go ahead and pray for your spouse by name and pray for one of their needs. Whether it comes easy or not, tell them, I love you. And express it to them in some tangible way as well. Hey, I'm gonna call this over. Click subscribe if you wanna join our crew. Hit like if you liked this video. Leave me a comment down below. How many years have you been married? And have you ever loved somebody sacrificially? If so, what'd you do? All right, we will see you later.